Hi, this is Jane at Coburn's. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be talking about Jane's favorite things. Now these are all items that I normally have in my kitchen. This is not something that the vendors are paying me for. These are my favorite and I have a big strong passion for them and I just want to share them with you. First thing is we have got Four Brothers ribs and I've got them in the oven, so I'm going to grab them so that I can show you. Now what I like about the Four Brothers ribs is they are fully cooked. You get them in the meat service case at Coburn's and they are ready to go. Normally when I always made ribs, I'd have to make them on a weekend because it would take like 2 hours to make. Now I can have them on a weeknight. I stop at Coburn's, pick them up, put them in the pan, and what I do is I put Old West barbecue sauce. This you can find in the grocery department. Again, this is a local item made in South Dakota, and I just pour it over here, and because they're fully cooked, it takes about a half hour to heat them up and they're ready to go. Now you can serve them as a one large slab, or I've cut them in half here, or what's really cool is you can cut them in individual ribs and serve them as an appetizer for your holiday parties. The next thing I want to talk about when I use Old West is I made a dip. And this dip is actually going to be on my blog with the recipe. Extremely easy recipe to make. All I did was I took 8 ounces of cream cheese, 8 ounces of sour cream, mixed them together, spread it on a platter. Then I poured the Old West barbecue sauce over the top. I added chicken. Now you can take chicken, cook it, and cut it up. I love to use our rotisserie chicken out of our deli because it has so much more flavor to it. So that's what I did. I bought the chicken, I shredded it, poured it on, or actually spread it on here. Then I put some mozzarella cheese, fine shredded, and I added tomatoes. And I'll tell you what, if you've never had barbecue sauce with the cream cheese and the sour cream, it pairs so good, it's addicting. And this is a hit at a party. So again, this would be great for entertaining. The next item that I absolutely love is Simek's meatballs. Now the meatballs that I put in here are just the regular size meatballs. And again, I used the Old West barbecue sauce. The other item I just want to show you is they now have them in mini sizes, and these are awesome. Same great quality. You find this in the meat department in the frozen section. But what's nice about the mini meatballs is you can use them in sandwiches, you can use them in egg bakes, and they're really good on homemade pizza. So those are some of my items. The next thing I want to do is show you my favorite garlic bread. Here again is another item that is a Four Brothers item. Very, very popular. Very easy to make. All you do, take it out of the bag. The instructions are right on there. You just bake it in the oven. And what I'm going to do is just pull them apart. And they've got the garlic in there, they've got the cheese already in there. And we're gonna pop that in the oven and we're gonna bake that for a little bit. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is the salad dressing. And if you haven't had a chance to do this, it's Four Brothers Positively Parmesan salad dressing. And again, this is awesome. It's got a very cheesy flavor, which I am a cheese freak. I'm gonna pour this over the top of the dressing, and all I have is just a regular salad, nothing fancy. And I'm gonna mix that up. And you can add all different things to this. You could add onions to it, you could add tomatoes to it. There's just so many different things. Black olives is another one that you could add to it. The other way of serving this is I also put together a veggie tray, and it is wonderful as a veggie dip. We cannot forget our sweets. Angie's popcorn, again, this is locally made. This one is called the white chocolate and peppermint flavored kettle corn, and I absolutely am a huge fan of white chocolate. This is limited right now just because it's a holiday item, so it's you can get it in the stores now. I also have frosted sugar cookies, so if you don't like peppermint, you've always got this choice, which is really good. And again, very addicting. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is Kemps Again, locally made here in Minnesota. And they have a new flavor of frozen yogurt. It's called Peppermint Bark Moose Tracks. And this is great to serve during the holidays. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna check the garlic bread and we're gonna see how that is doing. You don't have to cook these long. You just want them a little bit warm, get the cheese melted and make them ooey and gooey and delicious. Okay, now the next thing we're gonna do is my salmon. And I'll tell you what, I love Norwegian salmon. And if you follow my blog, you're gonna know that. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is I did not take the skin off of the salmon. I keep it on. Some people prefer to take it off. I keep it on because that's where the omega-3s are, and that's what I want to have. The next thing I want to talk about is smoothie sunflower oil. And I'll tell you what, this is the only oil that is in my house. The reason why, it has got vitamin E in it. There's no saturated fats, no cholesterol. It is a very, very light oil. It is awesome when you're cooking fish, chicken, anything. I mean, I even use it for cakes when I'm baking because it is so light. It doesn't penetrate into the food, so you're not gonna get that oiliness in there. And I'll tell you what, it has got such a buttery flavor. I absolutely love it. And what's great about the smoothie sunflower oil is the fact that it is locally made here in Pierce, Minnesota, and they have other flavors also in our stores. Okay, and I'm just gonna make sure that I've got it all on there. And one of my other favorites is the prime rib seasoning. Again, this is Four Brothers product. I use it for absolutely everything. This is my allspice. I love it. It is a staple in this kitchen. So I'm gonna sprinkle just a little bit on, and then I'm gonna pop that in the oven. And you wanna just make sure that you're cooking that salmon to at least 145 degrees before you serve it. Now, we are over by the beverage area. As far as I'm concerned, this is the best part of the video and my most favorites. Okay, one of the things that I wanna show you is the Kemps Eggnog. Now, they have partnered with J.R. Watkins. Both companies are local here in Minnesota. And J.R. Watkins has the Watkins hazelnut extract that was added to the Kemps Eggnog. And I'm just gonna pour a little bit. And what's really nice about this, I love the hazelnut flavor in there, but there's so many ways you can use eggnog. People have used it to put in cakes. They put whiskey in there, brandy in there. If you don't like that, you also have the option of putting it in your coffee or putting it in hot chocolate, and it is phenomenal in hot chocolate. But don't forget the whipped cream. The next thing that I absolutely love is a cheese called Flagship Handmade cheese. And I'll tell you what, the reason I love this cheese so much is it pairs with wine tremendously. It is awesome. I can't get enough of it. And then speaking of wine, one of my favorites is Covey Run. It's a Riesling. It's out of Washington. And I'll tell you what, you take a little cheese, you add a little of this, get together with your significant other and have a wonderful evening. Okay, I am back here with all Jayne's favorites. And what I did is I just took out the salmon. And again, it's the Norwegian salmon. And if you haven't had Norwegian salmon, you haven't had salmon. This stuff is phenomenal and one of my favorites. But I'm not gonna wait anymore because I'm hungry. So I'm gonna have a little bit of my salad, which is my favorite. I'm gonna have our Four Brothers garlic bread, my favorite. I'm going to, in fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm even gonna dip it in our Parmesan dressing, which is Four Brothers. I'm gonna have a little cheese, because you know what? I know I plan on having some wine. Then, can't forget my salmon. Gotta have a piece of that. Again, my favorite. I'm gonna have a Simek's meatball. In fact, one isn't enough. I'm gonna have two, but don't tell. Okay, the next I'm gonna do is my favorite crackers, along with my favorite dip that has Old West barbecue sauce on it. And then my Four Brothers ribs. Can't miss out on that. And then we want to go for the dessert. Angie's popcorn. Love that. Got to take some of my hazelnut eggnog. Oh, and let's not forget the Kemps frozen yogurt. You know what? The heck with the sample. I'm taking the whole bowl. Just don't tell anybody. And then don't want to forget our wine. You know what? I'll just take the whole bottle. This is going to be a great day. Have a safe and happy holiday season, and we'll see you next month.